Welcome to a brand new episode of the Ladies Network podcast with your host Ashley. Today I'll be talking to Vera Paras, a representative of Integrační Centrum Prague, which is a non-profit organization that provides all sorts of assistance to third country nationals living in the Czech Republic with long-term residency. Vera will be giving us insights into the work and the services that ICP offers. Hi Vera, thank you for coming to our episode.
Hi Ashley, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about the organization Integrační Centrum Prague, its history and its mission, and what it really does for those who don't understand what it does?
Yeah, so we are a non-profit organization that strives to make Prague a city for everyone, a home to all those who have decided to live here regardless of their country of origin, and a place where the citizens respect and support one another and team up. So this is the mission that we've been striving towards for over 11 years now. We were established in 2012 by the Prague City Hall. And obviously we've grown quite a bit since then. So you might be surprised to hear that, for example, for the first several years, we didn't have lawyers or social workers employed with ICP. So now we collaborated with other non-profit organizations such as PPI, CIMI, OPU in Basel to provide legal and social advice to our clients. And it was only in July 2019 that we started employing, ICP started employing lawyers and social workers, and obviously it's a pleasure to work alongside them. So yes, we've grown and our services have grown quite a bit during these 11 years.
You keep mentioning lawyers and whatnot. Maybe can you explain further what exactly your organization does, the services that you offer?
Yeah, so since we are an integration center, so we have different services catered to assisting with different aspects of it. So for example, we have counseling services by our lawyers and social workers. So for example, if you need advice on legal residency and other aspects of your life in the Czech Republic as a foreigner, you can consult with a lawyer. If you have questions regarding the social system, healthcare system, education system, etc., labor market, you can consult with a social worker. Then we obviously have Czech courses from complete beginner to, these conversation courses. This stage which you find yourself at quite often when you learn a language and you can quite understand a lot, but you just somehow can't find it in yourself to start speaking.
True, that's me.
Yes, so welcome to our conversation courses. Yeah, so that's Czech courses. We also have intercultural workers, such as myself. So we've got a team of intercultural workers, and what we do is, apart from Czech, we speak different languages. And exactly at this stage, when you are not confident speaking Czech just yet, we are here to assist you with the language barrier. So we can both interpret during the consultations with the lawyers and social workers, and we can also accompany you to different institutions like hospitals, schools, district authorities, trade license office, driver's license office, etc., and interpret for you there. We speak several different languages, so we can help with this language barrier at this stage. We also have these seminars again on different aspects of your life in the Czech Republic, such as healthcare system, navigating the labor market, or for example, we'll have this one in May regarding gaining Czech citizenship for those who are really integrated, and then we'll have 2 on maternity in the Czech Republic, one in English and one in Russian. So, and we do those regularly on different topics that our clients are interested in.
Oh my God, just listening to you right now explain all these services that you offer, I cannot help but ask myself, how many are you? How many employees are there? Because it sounds like you need 200 people at this point.
Yeah, there are quite a few of us. Well, I don't know the specific numbers. There are over 40 of us full-time employees, but obviously our lovely teachers are there, and we have part-time colleagues, and we also have volunteers who do quite a lot with us. So yeah, it's I remember some numbers around 90 or something, but I'm really not sure about the numbers.
Do you ever get in a situation where someone comes and asks for help and you do not have a person in-house to offer, like because you are overworked or stuff like that? For example, they want to be accompanied to the immigration offices and you're like, okay, yeah, you know what, we offer stuff we don't have today, maybe next month or something like that.
Yeah, it happens like every day actually. Unfortunately, we tend to find ourselves overwhelmed quite a bit. So we try to, juggle it somehow, or refer our clients to other organizations or intercultural workers from other organizations, or sometimes it works out with just helping the client prepare for the meeting on their own. So, for example, we as intercultural workers can help them, learn the vocabulary, just give them some hints on some sentences they can use, or some communication cards. And some of them do manage to handle it on their own, which is amazing on its own, because, it's quite liberating to know that you can do it on your own without an interpreter.
Yeah. I once went to the immigration office and they told me that if I want any help, I need to bring a translator with me. So they basically turned me back. And now I know that you need to go with the translator. But then there are so many of these situations where in Czech, if you speak English, they do not attend to you, or they just ask you to bring a translator. Are there any programs that you have where you can try to educate the people already there to speak a little bit of English so they can assist people instead of turning them back? Or your job is only focused on the expats to come with them as translators?
We do work with, as ICP, we create this regional advisory platform for integration of foreigners, where different parties, stakeholders in the integration process meet up and share experience and share case studies, etc. And we have both NGOs and district authorities, etc., attending it. So we try and work on both sides of integration to create this space where everyone feels at home.
Yeah. Now, what are the common issues or challenges that people usually face when they come seeking help in your organization?
First of all, it will be residency-related questions, all sorts of questions on extending residency, changing purpose of stay, etc., etc. Then nostrification of education. So if you come here from overseas with your degree or your diploma, at some point you might need to have it verified by the Czech University or the Ministry of the Education. So we can assist to advise on the process and stuff. Our social workers do that. Then obviously labor market, both with regards to where you can look for a job, because it's not trivial. Depending on the type of residency you hold, you might be limited to specific job offers, right? So our social workers can help you navigate that and also assist you with creating a CV or a cover letter in Czech, etc. Then social security system, healthcare system, not surprisingly, right?
Yeah.
Insurance, etc. So that's for counseling services. Then obviously the Czech courses. It's a very sought after service. And so most of the time, not most of the time, all the time, we have to have the clients enroll for the specific course they choose, and then the computer generates the list of people who get in, because for example, during the last year, we had 3,500 applicants, and out of those, 1,400 were enrolled for the Czech courses, like different levels. Well, as for the intercultural work, obviously hospitals, doctor's appointments. Right now it's April and May, so elementary schools, kindergartens, enrollment, that sort of stuff, and psychological pedagogical counseling centers before the school enrollment, then the ministry, labor department, trade license office, driver's license office, also of course interpreting during the consultations with lawyers and social workers.
Oh my gosh, it really sounds like a lot of work. Your counseling services come highly recommended from expert groups on social media. They always say you have to go to Integrační Centrum Prague. They helped me, they were very nice. I mean, there are of course a few instances where people will have bad experiences, but that's common with every business. I just want to know, like, when someone seeks legal representation from your center, what does it entail exactly? Do you go all the way to court? Do you take the client all the way through, or you go up until halfway and you're like, okay, no, you continue on your own from here?
Yeah, so the first thing to know is our lawyers do not represent clients in court or otherwise. So when the client comes to our lawyer for the consultation, the lawyer would provide information on the client's rights and responsibility. If they need advice on a specific process, the lawyer will describe the process, guide them through all the paperwork, explain how to have it prepared, maybe help with filling out forms, or tell them what the specific steps they need to take. So I know, like for example with residency and stuff, I know that many expats seek assistance from agencies with that, or some companies provide these services for their employees, which is obviously very nice. But the difference is when you come to a lawyer, the lawyer will not take your paperwork and submit it, for example, to the Ministry of the Interior on your behalf, but instead the lawyer will guide you through the process, explain how to prepare all the paperwork, help you with filling out the forms, but leave all the steps for you to take. Obviously, if you need accompaniment interpreting, we are there to interpret, but the fact that you hold this whole process on which your life, well-being, your future in the Czech Republic depends in your own hands, I believe is quite empowering.
Yeah, it also gives you that control, like you have this, in your hands. I don't know, I think I've heard other women also referring to your organization. Let's say, for example, you want to leave your partner in terms of domestic abuse and stuff like that, and your organization can help maybe with counseling or legal counseling as well. Do you do that kind of stuff?
Well, we do not specialize in domestic abuse per se, but unfortunately we do come across these cases sometimes, and because this is not something we specialize in, so obviously we do everything that we can help with, and then with some specific services we will refer the person to other organizations such as Acorus, Rosa, Profem, or Charitas Magdala project. But yes, our lawyers can definitely advise the person on their rights and responsibilities. As a foreigner in the Czech Republic, sometimes you find yourself having a much narrower support network than you would have in the country, in your home country, right?
Yeah.
And then sometimes women find themselves reliant on their partner or the abuser, not only financially, but also with regards to their residency.
True.
So the victim might be hesitant to leave the abuser, also because she is worried about losing her legal residency here, which is absolutely not necessarily the case. So yeah, if someone finds themselves in such a situation, it's a really advisable to seek legal counseling in this case.
Yeah, well, earlier on you touched on the fact that your courses are usually overbooked and you have the system pick the participants for you. I just wanted you to elaborate a little bit on the adaptation courses that you offer.
Yeah.
And are they compulsory? Like every foreigner has to take them?
Yeah. So that's sometimes it's baffling who doesn't have this obligation. So the thing is, the Ministry of the Interior introduced these courses as mandatory for specific groups of foreigners who received their residency card starting from the 1st of January 2021. So if your first card was issued after you received the first residency card, long-term residency mainly, after the 1st of January 2021, there's a good chance you do have this obligation, and do check out if you whether you do or not. And what you can do is go on our website, which is icpraha.com, and go to the Adaptation and Integration course section and take the quiz we have there. You take the quiz and you find out if this obligation is something that concerns you. If it's too complicated or if you have additional questions, you can always call our coordinators or email them, or just stop by their office on Tuesday and they will answer your questions, and if you need, they will help you register for the course.
Okay, what exactly is this adaptation course?
So it's a 4-hour course that gives you...
It's a test? No,
not test.
Oh, just a course.
Yes, just the course that you need to take to get to know some basic things about life in the Czech Republic with regards to rights and responsibility, some institutions that you might need to know about, whom to contact in which situation, how some systems differ in the Czech Republic from other countries, etc. So you will definitely get some useful information for your future life in the Czech Republic as a newcomer.
Okay, so I see it's kind of like a prevention course that you don't have so much work later on because you already taught the people what they're supposed to do and where to go.
Exactly. And that's what integration centers around the country do. So we are responsible for Prague, but other integration centers in different regions do the same.
No, I need to check that because I don't know if I am eligible to take the course or not. Okay, I wanted to know how you make sure that the services you offer are culturally sensitive to people of different cultures.
Yeah, so first of all, we have a team of intercultural workers. Some of us are foreigners as well, so we do have this background and we specialize in different languages. Some of us, on the other hand, are Czech citizens, but they specialize in other languages and cultures, so this is what they studied and this is what they are experts in. But also our other teams are really aware of the different backgrounds, because some of them are also foreigners who come from different countries, and many of them have international experience, like studying overseas, working overseas, etc. And we do these trainings on different, information about different cultures, clients from different countries that we work with. So yeah, the trainings that we get is a very nice perk of a job, and also for us, like for me specifically, but I think for at least most of my colleagues, working with people coming from different backgrounds is a perk, is a bonus of this job.
Yeah, so do you also address issues where people face some sort of like xenophobia or racism in Czech Republic? Because I actually saw in one of the EXPAT groups a woman who was elaborating of a story where she went to KFC and she was attacked just because I think she was Russian or Ukrainian, something around there. And these other guys were just harassing her, but no one helped.
Yes, so there is this organization called Injustitia that deals with the specific cases of racism, xenophobia. So if you find yourself in such a situation, you can contact them. In my practice, working with clients from very different countries, it was in the last 4 years. Honestly, I haven't come across cases of racism or stuff, but everywhere there is space for improvement, so I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
I do understand. Are there any policy frameworks that impact your ability to carry out your job? you know, when it's like there's a policy that has been set and you cannot do anything because it's a political thing, so you have to work around it, that can impact your ability to help people who need any assistance in your organization, or everything is just working out perfectly?
Well, our target group, the client group, is very specifically limited because we are funded by the USMIF fund, so it have very strict rules. Our clients are third country nationals, so non-EU citizens with long-term residency, legal residency in the Czech Republic. So for example, if someone contacts us who is here as a tourist, for example, and they have found themselves in a difficult situation, unfortunately, we cannot help them per se, but we will definitely put them in touch with an organization who can do that.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. Do you have any success stories that you can share, or accomplishments that your organization has achieved that are worth sharing?
Yeah. Well, with regards to numbers, during the last 11 years, we've had 30,000 clients who have enjoyed our services. Have I mentioned the Czech courses, right? It's over 7,000 people attended the courses. Obviously, many of them attend not just one course, but several of those, one after another. A staggering number of over 30,000 people have called our information center within the last 3 years. So it's the numbers from the 1st of March 2020, over 30,000 people. That's the calls that they've been able to, our information center workers have been able to answer. So the numbers are quite impressive, but I'd love to tell you about some, you know, big shiny cases.
Yeah.
But I can't because privacy.
Yes,
right?
I totally understand.
Yeah, but I can tell you about what we do, like on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
Say there's a woman who has a kindergarten-aged child, and she's struggling to find a kindergarten for the kid or for the kids, which is not hard to imagine, right? And she would, and she would love to get more involved in the community, but it's just something not feasible at this moment. And she calls our information center, and the information worker maps her situation, books an appointment with the social worker. So she comes to the social worker, and the social worker helps her find a kindergarten for the kids. And then maybe an intercultural worker accompanies her to the kindergarten, you know, to help fill out the forms and conduct the interview, or maybe interpret during the parent-teacher meeting. And maybe she goes and enrolls in the Czech course. And all of a sudden, she can speak some Czech, and she feels so much more confident in just her daily life in the Czech Republic. And maybe she meets with the social worker and they go through her CV, and together they manage to draw up a nice CV and a cover letter for her. And the social worker guides her through all the portals and tells her what to watch out for whilst looking for a job, right? And she finds a job, and she finds fulfillment in it. And you know, it doesn't sound like a big shiny case, but I do believe it is a big deal.
It's a big thing. It's a really big thing.
Yeah, and
like, you guys are so amazing. You start the person from something else through the process all the way to all the aspects of their lives that are being challenging. It's simply amazing. I wish most countries had organizations like this, because it will really make life easier for expats on a huge basis. That was a very good success story. How does Integration Centre Prague work with other organizations to carry out your work? For example, I've seen in your site that you talk of cooperation with the municipal districts. How does that work?
First of all, as I mentioned, we've got this regional advisory platform that has over 600 members. So that would be migrant association, district authorities, Prague City Hall, obviously, Prague City Council, different NGOs, and just all the schools and I don't know, educational facilities, international organizations that meet to, you know, share experience and to share professional research, to network together. Actually it was the regional advisory platform that participated in creating this conception of integration for foreigners for the capital city of Prague. So that's one part of what we do, and we also just cooperate on a local level with the municipal districts. They meet up with, like, the networking specialist meets up with mayors, councillors, and employees, just regular employees of these institutions, but also hospitals, schools, youth centers, etc. And there's been this booklet created for the district administrations on how to facilitate integration of foreigners. It's quite a thorough one. You can download it from our website. So these are all the ways we do it.
Yeah, it's really an integration, huh? Do you know some of the common misconceptions that people might have when it comes to third country nationals who seek help in your organization, and maybe how do you work in removing those perceptions as an organization?
Yeah, well, there are some, obviously, with regards to just, numbers, ethnicities, like foreigners taking jobs away from Czech people, etc., etc. So if you want to check those out, just go on this website called Atlas Predsudku.cz. It's been created within this project that we had called Dezinformace. It was coordinated by an amazing colleague of ours. And this website has all these misconceptions, perceptions, and then the facts, the real facts about every aspect like this. And you can also take a quiz and see how prejudiced you are on this website. Yes, it is a part of this bigger campaign called Prejudice Spreads Wherever Facts Are Missing. It was a big campaign involving the Czech television, billboards, etc. It reached over 3 million people, and it's targeted at actually dealing with these misconceptions and prejudice. What our colleagues also do is these workshops for students, both high school students and students of higher grades of elementary school. If you want to have a look at what it looks like, we've got this website called příšerkyvhlavě.cz.
Okay, I would have to put all these websites somewhere in the writing.
Okay. So it's part of this workshop. It's something like a quest that the students do, and they do it in different schools around the country, not only in Prague. So they've had 73 workshops now, and 1,500 students have attended. So it's an amazing project.
Is it to try to change the misconceptions and perceptions at a younger level?
Yes, and to help educate the youth, the teenagers, on how to process information that they get and how to recognize misinformation, And also we do activities like we have this intercultural ball, or we have different activities organized by our volunteers that bring Czech people and foreigners together, so that they can meet and communicate it and get to know each other. It's also helpful in fighting against misinformation and prejudice.
Oh, you guys are doing amazing things. What kind of events does ICP hold, and who can attend? I mean, you've already said some of the events right here, you've been explaining them, but as someone who hasn't been exposed to your events, do you have like any upcoming events that people might want to attend because they're so informational?
Yeah, so our seminars that I've mentioned earlier, they are mostly targeted at our clients or foreigners. As I mentioned, we'll have some in May, like maternity in the Czech Republic might be interesting to some of your listeners. And we have them regularly, so do follow us to see what we have coming up. Then we have these events that are not limited to just our clients. For example, as I mentioned, that intercultural ball that we hold yearly, these different activities organized by our volunteers. For example, Clean Czechia, when people come together to, clean together. Or we have these different trips around the country lately. We've had these language clubs by native speakers, like English language club, Spanish, French, etc. Last year, when we celebrated a 10-year anniversary, we had this open stage event where performers from different countries performed at the open stage. So we try to mix it up, and do follow us to see what we have.
Awesome. Like, I want to follow you and see all these things right now. I mean, I just started following you, but I didn't go into seeing all the posts all the way to the beginning, but now I'm interested. And what are the biggest challenges that you are facing, and how can the wider community help, especially people listening to this episode? You talked about cleaning Czechia, and I think that's what people can help you with. Are there any other initiatives that you do where expats can just join and go help the organization?
Yes, we've got quite a few volunteers. So
you don't need any more?
No, we are always happy when people want to get involved, but yes, sometimes we don't have capacity for all of it. Our volunteer coordinator doesn't have capacity, but the last 14 months have been challenging for obvious reasons, like since the invasion of Ukraine by Russian forces. We've found ourselves overwhelmed sometimes. In the first few weeks, several of our colleagues assisted at the KACPU, that's the Regional Assistance Center for Helping Ukraine. And well, to say that it was stressful for them would be the understatement of the week. So yeah, we do face challenges with regards to that. And right now we are starting a new project, working with a new group. It's completely new for us, Ukrainian teenagers who are also refugees. So it's a bit of a challenge for us because we've never worked with teenagers, obviously, but of course it's like very meaningful work. Yeah. So I admire our colleagues who are starting to do this job, and obviously we face some challenges trying to cooperate with the municipal authorities, the district authorities on a deeper level, which is a challenge we are happy to meet, of course. With regards to how the community can support us.
Yes.
Yeah. Follow us on social networks. So we have Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, WeChat. Always publish all the events we have coming up, and anything that foreigners or our clients might find useful, or the wider community might find useful. We have some very useful sources on our website. We do videos on specific topics. So do follow those, and do share information about us with your friends, your colleagues. Sometimes we do find ourselves overwhelmed, but we really want as many people to know about us and our services. Find this useful information that sometimes is hidden somewhere in the corner of the internet.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Ukrainian refugees, I mean, I cannot even begin to imagine what you guys went through when all that happened. I don't know what kind of services you offered to the refugees, but say they need a place to stay. Did you offer that kind of services?
In the beginning, our colleagues did work quite a lot with finding places to stay, but right now it's much more, organized. Yeah. So there are specific bodies that do these services. The CNPUU does it, and there are organizations that do it. We provide we assist in the ways we can and we know best. So legal advice, mostly it's social advice, because so many refugees who come here need assistance with, well, first of all, finding kindergartens and schools for the children, and finding a doctor, right? But then also looking for a job, having their diplomas verified, the nostrification of their diplomas, etc. And then we obviously assist them with accompanying them to different institutions, to hospitals, etc. Although a lot of them right now it's been 14 months, so a lot of them do speak decent Czech by now, and it's really admirable.
I'm ashamed right now that I still don't speak Czech.
You're doing an amazing job. Like I admire what you do, and like having come here less than 2 years ago, you've done all this amazing project. This is something to be proud of.
I chose the part that's most easier for me because I have to speak English, but when it comes to Czech, yeah, I don't. And you offer these Czech languages from A1 all the way to, I don't know, it ends.
No, it's only A1, A2, and then the preparatory course for the permanent residency application and the conversation course.
Okay. And the conversation course, you can just sign up and go. You don't need anything.
It's the same way as the other courses. So you enroll through the system. You take a test which assesses the level you're at currently, and then offers you the courses that correspond to your Czech level.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you want to be a part of our Dear Ladies Network community, visit our website www.dearladiesnet.com or follow our socials on Instagram and Facebook at dearladies.network. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new episodes. Until next time, bye. Organization, thank you for coming. Thank you so much for honoring me coming in this episode.
Thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.